In this video, I'm gonna show you step by step how to create these two trendy Instagram animations in Canva. This is the first one we are going to create, in which we see the animation coming from the lateral, and the second one is this one, in which we are going to see the movement coming from bottom to top. This tutorial is beginner proof because the animation is pretty easy to create, and you can even use a free Canva account. Are you ready? Let's start. Instead of creating designs from scratch, we are going to use templates for these projects because I want us to focus on the animation part of the project. The templates we're going to use today are completely free to use, and I'm going to leave you guys the links in the description of the video. When you click on the first link, you are going to land on this page, and for you to be able to use this template, you need to click customize this template. So I'm going to click here, and this is going to open the editor. Now we need to create different scenes, or basically different pages, so we can position the different elements in different places of the page, and then we are going to add some transitions to create the illusion of movement. And if you got lost in that description of the next step we are going to create, don't worry, let me show you what I meant by that. We are going to recreate the different scenes that we see on this video. So what we are seeing at the moment, this will be the scene number 1 or page number 1. Let's call them pages. If I move forward, I will see a different scene. These elements have now a different placement. And if I move forward, we will see that these elements are gone. They are back to the lateral. So this is a different page. And then this will be another page. Let me go forward, another page. And lastly, this will be the final page of our animation. So let's start by creating a new page. Let's go back to the editor, and from here we are going to duplicate the page number 1. So if you don't see this thumbnail right here and you see something like that, you can either duplicate the page from here, or I do suggest that you do it from here. So you can show pages by clicking on this small arrow that is pointing up, and then select the 3 dots on page number 1, this little square thumbnail, and click duplicate page. I do prefer to create these animations having these little thumbnails visible because I can have an overview of all the different scenes in the project. And now we're going to work on page number 1. I'm going to select page number 1, and I'm going to start grouping these elements. So I'm going to drag my mouse, select all of these elements, and then group. Doing the same process for the step number 2, group, and same for step number 3, group. After this, I'm going to select all of the elements, and by pressing shift, I'm going to drag them to the lateral until we just see the step 1, 2, and 3. Now we need to create some guides to be able to place the elements in the same position on the next page. So I already have my rulers activated, but if you don't see them here on top or on the lateral, go to File, select View Settings, and then Show Rulers and Guides. You should see them like this on top and on the left. And now to be able to create a guide, I just simply need to click on the ruler and drag it to the lateral. And as you can see, I already see my guide in here. And I'm going to position it on top of the straight line of these shapes, something like this. And now let's work on page number 2. Going to select page 2, and on the second page we need this element to be visible, but the last 2 elements are going to be still hidden. I'm going to group these elements one more time, so I'm selecting them and grouping them. Now I'm going to select step number 2 and 3 and holding shift so my elements go straight to the lateral. This is going to avoid my elements to move up and down. So let me show you. Holding shift and moving my elements to the right, you see that they are not moving up and down, even though I am moving my mouse up and down. Okay, I'm going to position this flat part of the elements aligned to this guide and then release my mouse. Okay, this is page number 2. Now, to create page number 3 really fast, we are going to duplicate page number 1. So I'm going to click on the 3 dots, duplicate. Now I'm gonna bring the duplicate on the position number 3, and now you should have something like this. On page number 1, you see all the steps hidden. Page number 2, we only see step number 1, and page number 3, we see all the steps hidden. Now we need to create a couple of pages more to be able to show step number 2 and step number 3. But we need to create another guide so we know exactly where to place these 2 steps that we are missing. We're going to page number 2, and I'm going to create another guide from the lateral. I'm going to click on the ruler and drag my mouse, and I'm going to align this guide with the flat part of this green shape. Now I'm going to duplicate page number 3, and I'm going to take step number 2. Remember to press shift and then drag these elements to the left. Remember that we are trying to align this flat part of the green element to this guide, and then I'm going to again duplicate this page. You can either duplicate page number 1 or 3 and bring this duplicate to the end. So we should have something like this. One page with all the steps hidden, then we have step number 1, all the steps hidden, step number 2, all the steps hidden, and now let's create the final page in which we see step number 3. So duplicating the last page, taking step number 3 and dragging it so we can align it to this guide. Now we have all of these pages, but we still don't see any fancy animations. We want to make sure that we have all of these scenes ready or these pages ready before we start working on the animations, just to make the process a little bit less confusing. Now we are going to start adding animations to page number 1. This is the first scene that people are going to see when they are scrolling on Instagram and they randomly see your post. So we want to add some movement to catch their attention. I was thinking that it would be nice to see these elements movement so we can show them that there is something going on in there. So I'm going to select all of these 3 steps. Then we're going to use the animate button on the toolbar on top, and from here you can select any of these animations. I would suggest that you go for the purple ones. You will see that at the bottom we see some blue icons. Go for the purple ones for this particular project. So I'm going to select for this page the one that is called pan, and then I'm going to select animate on enter. That means that when this page is ending, we are not going to see more movement. I believe that it would be nice to see these elements moving at the beginning of the animation, but because we are going to see some animation on page number 2, I would prefer to limit the movements only on enter. So we have selected these 3 elements. We selected the pan animation only on enter, and now this is it for page number 1. Now we are going to add a transition in between page number 1 and page number 2 so we can create the illusion of movement of the step number 1 appearing from the lateral. So we are going to position our mouse in between these 2 pages until we see these 2 icons. We're going to click on this little icon that says add transition, which is going to open this lateral window, and from here we are going to select the transition called match and move. This is the transition that is going to work best for this project. So if you want to have this illusion of the step number 1 moving to the left and then going back to the right, you are going to select only this transition right here, match and move, and then we are going to click apply between all pages because we need the same transition animation on every single page. We are almost done with this animation, and I think it's time for us to remove these guides. These are not going to be visible even when we download the animation, but I would prefer to stop seeing them at the moment. So we're going back to File, View Settings, and then Show Rulers and Guides one more time. This is going to deactivate the guides and the rulers from the editor. Now, I would like us to preview how this animation is looking. We're going to click on this play icon that we see on top of the screen. This is going to open the animation in this preview mode, and we can see how the animation is looking. As you can see, the animations are working fine, but I do believe each section or each page lasts a little bit too long. I want this animation to be a little bit more fluid and for it to move faster. So I'm going to close this preview mode and I'm going to reduce the length of each page. Now I'm going to select page number 1's icon, and then you will see that we have now a button with a little clock. From here we can edit the timing of this page in particular. So I'm going to click here, and for page number 1 I believe we can leave it to 2 seconds or even like 2.5, so we can see the animation on these 3 elements. Moving to page number 2, I'm also going to leave this page for 2.5 seconds so we can actually read the content on the step number 1. Then the page number 3, we don't need to read anything else because we already read it on page number 1 and page number 2. So this one we are going to leave it just for 1 second. This page, page number 3 and page number 5 actually are just necessary for the animation. So page number 3, 1 second. Page number 2, we need some time to read, so 2.5. Page number 5 is just for the animation, so 1 second. And page number 6, you can also leave it to 2.5 seconds, or because it's the last slide, we can leave it up to 3 seconds. Okay, I think this animation is ready, so we are going to preview it. So clicking again on this preview icon, this is how your animation is going to look like when you download it from Canva. Remember that this is a free template and all of the animations that we used are free to use. Also, when you download this animation, you won't have any watermark on your video. So if you like what you see, if you like your animation, you can download it by clicking share on top of the screen, download, and from here you can select either MP4, or if you want to use your animation as a GIF, you can also select GIF. I'm going for MP4 video. I'm going to select all pages because we worked hard on all of these pages, and then I'm going to click download. And in this tutorial I wanted to focus on the animation part, you know, like building the animation from scratch, not so much on the designing. But this is a template and everything can be customized in Canva, so you can change the text, you can change the color of your text, you can change the colors, add elements, add photos, anything that you like. Before we move on to the next animation, I want to show you an extra tip that I believe some of you are going to like. Let's say that you are going to start creating this animation, you clicked on the link that I left in the description, but you don't really want to create a square animation. You want to create a reel or a TikTok video. You can actually convert this design into a reel and then start working from there, so you can have a reel or a TikTok at the end of the project. So you're going to click on customize this template, and from here you will need Canva Pro. This is the only thing I know that I said in the beginning of the video, that you were going to create everything with a Canva free account, but I believe this piece of information is valuable, so let me show it to you. Also, if you have a Canva free account and would like to try Canva Pro, we have a 45-day free trial in the description. Okay, we have this template and we want to transform it into an Instagram reel. We're going to to click magic switch on top of the screen, and from here we are going to select social media, and then you see that there is the Instagram Reel option. You can also select TikTok or any kind of document that you want. I'm going for Instagram Reel, and then I'm going to click continue, and you can either copy and resize or simply resize this design. I'm going to resize this design, and as you can see, the ratio changed automatically. Now from here, if you want, you can adjust the placement of the elements before you start creating the duplicates of this page to create the animation. Once you have the layout the way you want, you can start duplicating the page and then follow the same steps that we just saw on this video. Now let me show you how to create this animation in which we see the movement coming from bottom to top. Remember that the link to this template is in the description, so when you click on that link, you will see this page. You're gonna click on customize this template. For this project, we are going to follow the same steps as the first project, the first animation, but still I wanted to show you how to recreate a different movement, this time not from the lateral, but from bottom to top. So we have the document here. If you want to change anything, you know that you can do it. You can double click on the text boxes to change the text or change the color. You can also select the element and you will see the color option in here. Now, the only thing that I'm going to change on this document is that I'm going to delete this text box right here because this is going to get in the way of my animations. So let's delete it. And now that we don't have this element on the way, we are going to start grouping this set of elements. So we have 3 different groups, and now I'm going to bring my rulers and guides. So going to File, View Settings, Rulers and Guides. I'm going to create a guide from the ruler on top, and I'm going to position this guide on top of these elements. This is going to guide me later on when I'm going to start bringing my elements up. Now I'm going to select all of these 3 elements, dragging down, and then holding shift. I'm just going to make sure that we only see the date. So we only see the numbers right here, they are peaking, but we don't see the information below. Now I'm going to duplicate the page, and this time on page number 2, I'm going to bring the first group of elements up. I'm going to duplicate page number 1, so I can select this thumbnail, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. You can see that I have a duplicate here on page number 2, and I'm going to bring it next. Now, I'm going to, again, Ctrl V to create another duplicate and bring the second group of elements up. And now I'm going to, again, duplicate page number 3, bring it here, and then Ctrl C, Ctrl V to create the last page in which we are going to see the last group of elements appearing. Now, the next step is to add some animations. So we're going to follow the same process, selecting these 3 groups of elements, go to Animate and select Pan. I'm going to select Pan only on Enter, like this. And then remember that we are going to add transitions. So I'm going to position my mouse in between the page number 1 and 2, add transition, match and move, and then apply between all pages. Now we need to adjust the timing of each of these pages, and I'm going to show you a trick so we can do it faster. I'm going to position myself on page number 1, edit timing, and I'm going to make sure that we are on 2.5 seconds, and then we are going to activate this option that says apply to all pages. Going to click here, and then if I go to page number 2, you will see 2.5, page 3, 2.5, and so on. I'm just going to edit page number 3 and 5 because we only need 1 second here just to create the illusion of these elements moving. Now let's preview the animation, and this is how it looks like. Remember that to download this animation, you can click on Share, Download, MP4 or GIF, All Pages, and then Download. As you were able to see, these animations are super easy to create. You can create them really fast and also for free. Now let me give you an extra tip, because I understand that maybe these two templates that I gave you today are a little bit limiting and you want something different, maybe a different aesthetic, different colors, different fonts. I'm going to show you what to look forward in a design for the animation to work. So I'm going to show you an example with templates on my Canva profile. I'm going to leave you the link in the description as well. So this is my profile, and from here you can search for these two keywords. You can either search for steps, and from here you will see some templates that will work for this kind of animation. So if I were to create an animation like the ones that we created today, I would go for templates like this one. So you can see that we have the number that we can isolate to create the animation that goes from the lateral to the center of the design and back. So this one could work. Let me go down to see if I can find another design that could work. We have this one right here, this one could also work, this one right here. So I'm always trying to find a keyword or a number that we can show, and then some extra information to the side so we can show it to our audience. So this is basically what I look forward in a design: a title, number, or a keyword, and then some extra information. Now you can also use the word event, because we have the number and the name of the event or some extra information. You will see that we have more of the same layouts here. We see the template that we used today. We could also try the same effect with something like this. We also have a similar layout. We just need to remove this text box in here, and then we have some other templates like this one. Remember that we just need to move or delete these elements at the bottom of the design, but there is a lot of templates that you can use here. You can browse through all my profile and find something that you like. I'm gonna leave here the link to my Canva profile so you can follow it and access new Canva templates every week. And I'm gonna leave here another tutorial I do recommend you watch, because I show you one of the newest features in Canva to create videos effortlessly. And that's it for today. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Bye!